The granddaddy of them all this weekend comes to the Lone Star State, and boy, oh boy, am I excited for it. 800-224-2004. We know what's going to happen in College Station when Alabama enters Kyle Field and takes on Texas A&M. One of two things is going to occur. Massive upset by Texas A&M, undefeated. Last time they were undefeated playing a team like Alabama at Kyle Field, guess what happened? 41-38, Seth Small drills a field goal, and everyone rushes the field. First time in 100 games, Alabama loses to an unranked opponent. You got the same type of formula. Different type of feel, but same type of formula to go ahead and get that upset. But the game that everyone's going to be focusing in on, the game that you need to be paying attention to, and the one that has more on the line than we give credit for, is the Red River Showdown. And this is a Red River Showdown to remember. Because of not only are these two teams undefeated, these two teams will basically have an opportunity to punch their ticket to Arlington. I am not going to say that these two teams can't lose football games. They absolutely can. It's Texas and it's Oklahoma. We've seen the way that these rosters have been constructed before, where you get a big win in the rivalry matchup, you throw all the game plan out the window, and then little old BYU comes walking into town. Knock, knock, who's there? NL. Go ahead and take it. Or a team like an Oklahoma State, Bedlam. Do you know how badly people would love to see Oklahoma State get this win, especially in the Mike Gundy era, when Mike Gundy's been running his mouth and saying, we don't want to play Oklahoma anymore. No, we don't want to do that. So let's just go ahead and give them a piece of their own medicine. You don't want to think that we're worthy? You don't think that we're good enough to be a part of your culture, your standard? Okay, take this L as you go join the SEC. Hopefully that money helps you cry at night. Hopefully that money helps you sleep well. They'd love to do that. But this game ultimately does decide who is the leader of the pack in the Big 12. And it's so sad because the Big 12 is a fun conference. I've always said the Big 12 might be the most fun conference in college football. It's a delight because every single year you just see the upsets. You see a team come out of nowhere and it's like, holy crap, look at them. That's West Virginia right now. West Virginia's 4-1 on the season. Neil Brown deserves an apology from the national media and yours truly. So I'm sorry, Neil. I did not respect your game. I did not know that you were going to play exceptional defense and say, screw it. Well, CJ Donaldson's in our backfield. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. But the pathway to Arlington could come to an end for one of these teams just based off what we know. Now, I'm not saying that you lose a game. You could easily lose a game. But you would be 6-0 going into the final 6 games of the regular season. And from a roster standpoint, nobody is at the same level as Oklahoma or Texas this year. Nobody. These two teams are a cut above the class in the Big 12. Everyone else is kind of playing catch up, whether it be UCF, whether it be West Virginia, Kansas State. They are like looking up at Big Brother, who did get the bid to go to a new conference. They're like, crap. We're not beating them. We didn't get the upset. This is our Super Bowl this year because they're better. They 100% are better. And they are. They absolutely are. With what Brent Venables did this offseason to fix the defense, primarily in the transfer portal and on the recruiting trail, has made Oklahoma a viable threat to once again return to the college football playoff. And they're not getting the respect they deserve. Did you know that Oklahoma is number 4 in scoring defense? The other 3, Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. Those are the top 3 defenses. And then Oklahoma sits there. Oklahoma leads college football in interceptions. Oklahoma is one of the best teams when it comes to the turnover rate. And offensively, they put up points. They do. Dillon Gabriel may not be an elite quarterback, and I don't think that he is going to be one of those names that finds his way onto Sunday rosters and becomes a household icon. But he's good for college, and he's done a great job this year. 19 touchdowns on the season, 15 through the year, 4 on the ground. He can utilize his legs. Yeah, he's doing something up there. And then you have Texas. And Texas, again, I tell you this all the time, they play for the big games. They play down to the level of competition, and they don't wake up against lesser tier opponents. They don't. They never have. And that's been the thorn in Texas's side since 2009. They find a way to go ahead and handle business against Alabama. And then a week later, it's 10-10 going into the fourth quarter against Washington. So you know for a fact you're going to get the best version of these two teams on the field. But what is at stake for Texas and what is at stake for Oklahoma in this game? I'm so glad that you asked. For Texas, it's the culmination of what Steve Sarkisian has been preaching for the last 3 years. For Texas, it's all about following the plan. Year one, all right, we don't even go to a bowl game. We have questions when it comes to the quarterback position, but we're going to establish a culture and an identity. Everybody remember that Bo Davis clip? You lose to Iowa State, and Bo Davis loses his absolute mind to hear players talking and having a decent time on the bus ride home. You got obliterated. Dude, you had it close in the first half, and then, Iowa State said, nope, just turn it on. And he's like, if you don't want to be a part of this, get the hell out. And they did. They left. They left in an instant, and they got guys that want to be a part of the 40 Acres franchise. And now they're starting to look like a team that actually has national championship aspirations. So this is the culmination of what Steve Sarkisian has been preaching for the last 3 years. And it's the buildup. Year one, establish a culture. Year two, identify the studs. Year three, go big and go home. That's what this is. And so it only shows you that Steve Sarkisian is the right guy to lead your team into the SEC. And don't think for a second that the SEC is going to be kind to Texas, but don't think Texas is going to be kind to the SEC. It's Texas. It's the flagship program of the Lone Star State. You do realize Georgia, Florida, California, and Texas produce the most top talent in high school football. So you now have the SEC brand where, quote unquote, it just means more and it also pays more attached to your name. Guess what that does? It helps you out the recruiting trail even more so than just the burnt orange brand. That, my friends, is a massive staple for the Longhorns. But what does this mean for Oklahoma? Well, it shows you that Brent Venables was the right guy all along, and that falling for the trap of first-year flops is a dangerous game. Do you know how many people said last year that Brent Venables deserved to be fired? Deserved to be fired. Fired for not leading Oklahoma to a Big 12 title game, for not leading Oklahoma to a 8-win season. Sometimes you have to take a step back to get a step forward. And Lincoln Riley was a good coach. I'm not going to take that away from him. Lincoln Riley, the guy has been one hell of a guy in college football. He's always won. He's always won. Except the big game. What's his record in the college football playoff? When's the last time they played for a national championship? When's the last time they hoisted up the title? Lincoln Riley didn't do that. Lincoln Riley, first shot he got, head out to Sunnyside, California. It takes a certain person to work in Norman. And Brent Venables is that guy. And you know Brent Venables can be that guy because if he was a part of that staff underneath Big Game Bob Stoops. The reason we call him Big Game Bob Stoops is he won the big game. And partially that was because of great defensive play. And his coordinator was Brent Venables before he left to join Dabo Swinney and Clemson. So it shows you got the right guy. You got the dude that is built and made for Oklahoma football. And to get Sooner football back to what it needs to be, that's huge because they also are joining in with the SEC. And people are like, okay, well, why does that matter, Cole? Why does it matter? Because if as of this moment, everyone's saying, oh, this is Texas that's joining the SEC. And yeah, Oklahoma, you can come too. It's like when you were a kid growing up and your mom told you to bring your little brother everywhere. Like your friends are like, hey, we're going to the arcade. You want to come with? Yeah, but can Timmy come? Can Timmy be a part of this? Ugh. Yeah, Timmy can come. Go ahead. Well, now Timmy grew up and Timmy put on 300 pounds and he is a 5-star offensive tackle that's about ready to be drafted in the NFL. And everyone's like, hey, Timmy, can we go hang out with you? You get a win over Texas. You get to sit at that table. You get to go ahead and puff out your chest and be like, hey, I'm Oklahoma, damn it. You will respect my name. You will remember who I am and what I've done for this sport. So it is a huge deal for Oklahoma. It's not just what's at stake in terms of, oh, this team has an inside track to make it to the Big 12 title game and maybe be the front runners to represent the conference in the college football playoff. Because we've seen a Red River Showdown where the team that wins the game doesn't win the Big 12 title. That happened back when Kyler Murray was on his way to winning a Heisman Trophy. But a win for both of these teams not only justifies they have the right coach for the future in the SEC, but it also justifies that both of these programs are headed in the right direction. Do not sleep on the Red River Showdown. It is must-see television Saturday.
In times
hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.